Earlier, we had a look back at the year 2015 with Congress. Now we want to move on to the U.S. Supreme Court. Some pretty big decisions were made last year. Alex Miller from our exclusive D.C. bureau talks to an expert tonight with some insight to some of the big cases.
It was a monumental year for our nation's highest court. Some of the biggest questions got answers, and the court heard cases whose decisions could have a big impact come 2016. In a major win for the Obama administration, one of the main points of the Affordable Care Act was upheld. ACA is here to stay. ACA is here to stay. When many red states refused to set up health care, the federal government stepped in so people in those states could get subsidies too. But some who opted out of health care refused to pay their penalty, saying they shouldn't have to. So the court had to decide, were these people right? And if they were, the rest of the people in those states who wanted health care would have lost their subsidies.
If that were true, many people wouldn't be able to afford to buy the health insurance, and the argument goes that sort of the entire system would fall apart.
And while there will be other legal challenges for the Affordable Care Act, they're not likely to topple the program. And just a few days later, likely the biggest decision of the year and possibly recent history. Justice Kennedy joined 4 liberal justices in deciding that same-sex marriage should be legal across the country.
The first time ever, my gay daughter and my straight son have the same equal marriage rights. Yay!
And while it was a thrilling time for some, many across the country and in Congress argued the court even taking up the case was overreaching. They believe the decision should have been left up to a vote.
This is precisely why the United States has a constitution, because some things are too important to be left up to popular vote. And that's why we have federal judges who are not elected to make these kinds of tough decisions.
And in a major defeat for anti-death penalty advocates, the court ruled the drug midazolam was not cruel and unusual punishment. The drug is known to sedate inmates during execution, but has recently contributed to botched executions. While the case didn't change much in the fight against the death penalty, it was Justice Stephen Breyer's dissent that gave insight into potential future cases.
He has real doubts about whether or not the death penalty more broadly is constitutional.
The Supreme Court heard arguments in the case of Abigail Fisher versus the University of Texas. Fisher, who is white, was denied admission to UT. She says it's all because of her race. But UT says they must consider race to ensure diversity at their school.
And so they're worried about a ruling that would hurt not only the University of Texas's ability to consider race in undergraduate admissions, but also their ability as well.
The court will hear their next arguments January 11th. Reporting at the Supreme Court, I'm Alex Miller.
Alex, thank you. Many experts say the court leaned to the left in 2015, but they say with their caseload in 2016, we shouldn't expect similar outcomes. The court may also hear a challenge to the Obama administration's policy on immigration.